Well, welcome everybody. Welcome, Taylor. Great to see you.
Hi, good to see you too.
I don't get to see you all that often, except that we were at a great event together not too long ago when we actually had to dress not only from, waist up, but actually the whole outfit. Also on with us today is Eric Hackman and Joseph McDermott of CubiCasa. So this is our
Thanks for
first
having us.
launch. We just launched this great new product last week at our roadshow event. Taylor, Colleen, actually, the whole staff, we were all out in St. Clair Shores with a great event. And everybody had some great stuff to say about CubiCasa. They were really excited that we are now bringing this onto our platform as a member benefit. And we're kind of proud to say that we are exclusive in Michigan so far. I'm sure other MLSs will catch on and say, oh my gosh, my real source has done it again. We need to catch up. That's usually how it goes. So we have a PowerPoint presentation today that we want to show you all the great benefits that CubiCasa Floor Plans has to offer our members and to the data in the MLS. So I am going to get that up. And see my sharing. There we go. A floor plan on every listing is definitely what we are looking to do. Gosh, we got a lot of great people here today. I see even Tina Dezan is here. Eric Goosen. Thanks, Eric, for getting back on again. Don Bertani is here. Chris Nixon, Carolyn Plunkett. Oh, holy moly, we got a great amount of people. Lots of names I haven't seen in a minute. That's a fantastic thing. So today we're going to walk through a few things. So what is CubiCasa? Also the value of floor plans and why they're important to your listings. What we offer as a member benefit as part of our MLS partnership with CubiCasa. Then we're going to go over the member sign-up process and walk you through some of the product itself and some questions and answers, and of course tips from the professionals here. We're going to be wrapping it up with those guys. Love it. So Eric Hackman is the Director of Customer Support and Success with CubiCasa, and Joseph McDermott is the Strategic Sales Manager. Wonderful. Thanks for coming on board with us today. We greatly appreciate it. So CubiCasa,
thank you for having us.
Good. CubiCasa has one main goal here in the US is to get a floor plan on every single real estate listing. So to start off with, let's start with the why behind that. So CubiCasa saw a floor plan demand gap. Both home buyers and home sellers are asking for floor plans to be included on their listings, but only about 10% of listings here in the US actually have a floor plan. So that does not compare to other countries around the world. And even here in the US, where we see a gap between rental properties and traditional real estate for sale. Almost every rental property you look at will have a floor plan. So we can already see the value, but how do we know that value translates over to the traditional real estate and that floor plans are just as important? If we look at that NAR home buyer and seller survey, you can see what website features on a listing are considered the most valuable. And what we learned is that floor plans are the single most desired add-on to a listing for consumers right after photos in the regular listing data entry. So the demand is there, and the results from the survey show that. So they're already such an important asset for rentals, and they should be just as important for purchases as well. But why are floor plans important? They provide an easy way for buyers to understand a property's fit for their life better than any other digital asset. I'm sure you've seen that throughout. You're trying to figure out a house, but you can't. Taylor has mentioned many times where that random photo pops in and you just don't get the flow. So, but a floor plan gives an easy to view and understand quick glimpse into the entire property. It allows you to see how big the rooms are and the flow between them. So you can learn if your furniture will fit, Most importantly, you'll learn if the property layout suits you and your family. So are the kids' rooms close to the primary? Is there a spare room we can use for an office space or guests that are sort of out of the way? So a floor plan is really the best way to understand the property and to make sense of those questions. So now that I've got you thinking about the benefits of floor plans in general, why should you add them to your listings? So you stand out. It's an easy way to stand out and win more listings by offering floor plans and better media in general in your listing presentations. You're showing the potential client that you will do everything you can to market their home. It'll also allow you to generate more qualified buyers. Most people look online at properties before deciding to tour a home in person, and especially since COVID. And this kind of pre-qualifies them before ever coming out to the house. And lastly, the more media we can give to potential buyers, the more understanding they have of the property, and it reduces the amount of time on market. So what is CubiCasa? We've talked a lot about floor plans in general at a high level and how this leads into what CubiCasa is. So to give you some background, CubiCasa was actually founded around 9 years ago in Finland. It was kind of cool. You know, maybe someday we'll get the opportunity to go out to headquarters. All right. So, but at that time, they served as a redraw service. Agents and photographers would send a picture of the floor plan. May have been a photo of someone's sketch with some measurements or an old property listing. Then the floor plan would be redrawn from that. So as they continued expanding with clients all over the world, they wanted to modernize the process and broaden the scope of people who had access to create floor plans. And what better way to do so with the tool everyone already has on them at all times is their cell phone. So CubiCasa started developing an app that would allow users to quickly and easily scan a property. It then generates, that gets processed into an accurate floor plan, including those room measurements, which are so very important. So how does the app work? Well, it's probably easier than you think. So as you can see from the image on the right, you simply open the app and walk the perimeter of each room and the home. All of the staff did it with our own homes. It was really fun and easy and fun. We all like to make comparisons. So it only takes about 5 to 10 minutes for an average size home. So right now the average scan takes about 6 minutes for a 2,200 square foot home. You don't need any special training or equipment, which is nice. Just the phone in your pocket and your CubiCasa app. So it does work both on Apple and Android devices. So you don't need the latest and greatest newer iPhone with the LiDAR, which does help things to make it a little more precise, which is nice, but it's not required. So the app gives you real-time in-app feedback, so it ensures you're scanning correctly. So if you're moving too quickly or too close to a wall, it'll see that, and there's an overlay on there that will tell you what you need to be doing. It's as easy as that. All right. So to give you a visual of how the app works and what's happening under the hood, let's take a quick look at the video. So let me change my screens here. So you'll see on the top left, that's the view of the camera. As you're walking around scanning the property, this is exactly what you'll see on screen. On the bottom left, you'll see what's being captured in real time using the augmented reality kits in the phone to create a point cloud. On the right, you'll see that full 3D footprint as it's being captured of the property. So the green line is what you see is actually the route of the person took through the home, and the red diamond shape is capturing the device's position. So what you see in the bottom left and the right-hand side will not be visible in the app. So this is the background processing CubiCasa is doing to capture all the details and create the floor plan for the entire property, including any outdoor spaces.
Yeah, that was one thing I really liked about it, how you can get the outdoor spaces and the, the barns and the porches and the patios and really get that, placement of everything that can be hard to capture in just photos.
Yeah, that is really cool. So here you go. Here's the final result from that. This home is around 1,200 square feet. It was captured in about 3 minutes. So it's a pretty simple process.
Yeah, and you'll see in some of the slides later, we can even capture things like stamped concrete patios around pools and everything. So it's amazing what the technology is able to capture and produce. And yeah, here leading right into it, Debbie. So I'll let you take it back.
And it wasn't until we saw this one, because I've got a pool at my house here, and I thought that would be so cool. I didn't think about scanning that outdoor area. And you see this house is very intricate. So CubiCasa does work on these high-end complex properties. So this is a non-traditional layout. As you can see, it includes a pool and that separate dwelling too. So I have a detached garage. When somebody was looking at the listing photos of this house, they're like, oh my gosh, your neighbors are so close. Like, no, that's the detached garage. It's not my neighbors. So this is really cool that you can get the scope of the entire process. So the scanning process captures any angled walls, outdoor features, or separate dwellings, and they'll all be captured in one single scan, and that's the kind of important piece. One scan does it all. So when you're working with those multi-story properties, you'll use that one scan, start at the front door. Actually, I started in the basement, go up the entire first level, entire second level, come back down, and then I should have done outdoor, the back patio, could have gone around the brick pavers on the side. That'd have been really, really cool. See, but now that my hedges are trimmed up, now I'd be willing to do it.
That's a great point, Debbie. I believe you're in a market that where basements are typical. I would always recommend just starting in the lowest level and working your way up through the top. Resist the urge to stop and start the scan. Just keep it going throughout, because we do capture all the stairs and the spaces leading up, and we'll draw that into the rendering. So that's just some tips to keep in mind.
That's fantastic. Always has good tips. Now, here's a good one. Colleen, when we were talking about this and the staff, she's like, yeah, I've pretty much had to do a home like that too. Can you believe this is actually a home in Pennsylvania? And yes, it's a shoe that you can rent out on Airbnb. So it was submitted by a real estate photographer in the CubiCasa network. And it's a great example of how unique and diverse properties can be. So the app captured and created the floor plan, and it can do just about anything too. Really interesting. I wouldn't mind checking it out. So what are the benefits as part of a MyRealSource CubiCasa partnership? You'll get as many basic floor plans as you can create for free, as long as wait for it, the total scanned area is under 5,000 square feet. And when we say total scanned area, that's front porches, back porches, garages, everything in it is included, your basement, outdoor. So this basic floor plan is a great option for both agents and photographers. Again, it'll include up to 5,000 square feet, including the outdoor spaces that are scanned, the room dimensions and labels. So it'll give you that gross internal area. It'll be turned around in about, well, it'll be back to you within 24 hours of submitting the scan. And you're going to also have the option to customize this with you can edit room names, you can even add your own logo, change the color schemes to match your brokerage's colors or whatever you like. All right, so on top of that basic floor plan, there's a number of optional add-ons you can choose on as an a la carte. The very first one, you can add in fixed furniture, which is the most popular. That's the one I strongly suggest too, because in my house, there were a couple of rooms that you just don't understand it without that fixed furniture. So you can see appliances, cabinets in the kitchen, bathroom fixtures, all of that. The second one is the GLA appraisal floor plan. We're going to take a closer look at that in just a minute here, though. It gives you the gross living area of the property. It's great for any appraisers who are My Real Source members. And it gives you a single document you can save as a PDF and upload to your appraisal software. Next, or lastly, the basic floor plan. To get a faster turnaround time, if you need that property listed as soon as possible, you can get a 6-hour delivery, and that includes all the media types. You can finalize those floor plans as well, so it includes everything. Lastly, that basic floor plan includes, again, that 5,000 square feet, including all outdoor areas, basement, garage, everything. So anything above it will include a charge due to increased production cost. However, I think the guys already said, your very first one is free, absolutely free. Pick all the bells and whistles, and then that one is totally free. Now, all of these here are the standard prices. The My Real Source CubiCasa partnership gives you a 25% discount on these prices. So even if your home is a larger one and you want the additional fixed furniture, it's not going to cost you but a couple of bucks. Seriously, it's amazing. So moving into one of the additional products on top of the basic floor plans is that the digital GLA. So CubiCasa is able to deliver consistent GLA results that are aligned to ANSI standards. The floor plan image and area calculations are in one single report, so it's perfect for appraisers. And it gives you everything you need, including those things like non-livable areas, storage, non-heated rooms, and it takes into account the wall thickness for overall dimensions. You also see exterior ingresses, egresses, and above, below ground spaces. Lots of stuff in it. Now, something you can do with both the basic floor plans and those with the add-ons is customizations. You don't need to stick with a simple black and white floor plan. You can customize each one, whether you choose to go with one of the pre-made templates or come up with your own color scheme. You can adjust the room labels. So if you prefer living room as to family room or primary bedroom to be called the primary suite, etc., you know, edit the kitchen name to say Eden Kitchen. It's easy. We all did our editing on ours. One thing to say is the editing, you cannot do it on Firefox. It's got to be Chrome or, well, I use Safari, so that was an easy one with me. So lastly, add in your own, oh, you got those, oh, I know. As we said earlier, you can make it your own brokerage colors. I also like separating on these ones. See the tan ones, the bedroom colors, the bathroom colors are a different color. Just nice and easy to really separate the areas at a glance. You see the whole thing. And how about adding it to your Cloud CMA property report to go out after an open house? So that's a really cool piece, and they really see that. So you're able to save multiple versions of each floor plan. So it depends on where you're using those photos, whether it's in your Cloud CMA, you can upload a PNG or a JPEG to the photos, or you can even add a PDF into the associated docs in Paragon. So those are amazing. In this example here, oh, you got the pre-made form, those light yellows, and just, it really further enhances everything in your finalized product. Okay, so now this does seem like a lot. We know that, but don't worry, CubiCasa is here for you 24/7 customer support. So you have either the chat widget in the app or a dedicated MLS help email right for you. And either will connect you directly to their customer service and support team. They'll guide you through any hiccups you might have. Moving on to the next steps. Sign up, scan, and upload. There's your 3 basic steps there. So let's walk through the process, that sign up process to ensure your account is created with the My Real Source CubiCasa partnership link. First, you're going to open up Paragon. Go to your resources icon, where you will find our CubiCasa floor plan link. From there, you click the sign up, scan done, and you will enter your email address that you have on with us, and then create a password. When you do that, you will next need to select either agent or appraiser. Those are the ones that are going to get you the discounts with My Real Source. Right. And then all you need to do is download the app, start scanning. Once you've received your floor plan, you download it into a number of file formats and then upload it into the MLS. All right. So it gives you a glimpse into how you'll be using CubiCasa to enhance your listings, improve that customer search experience by providing floor plans for all of your listings. So let's double check our Q&A in the backside, see if anybody's got questions for Eric and Joseph. And Taylor, if you want to come on, I know you've got some great thoughts here as well.
Yeah, I wasn't seeing really any questions, but Eric did provide some helpful information about the devices. If you want to share that, Eric, with them in case they missed it in the chat.
Yeah, thank you. And great job, Debbie. I felt like you've done this before, so nice work.
I've been practicing.
Right? Well, you did a great job. And yeah, so if we, and I don't believe I had the option to share the link out. So if anyone on your side is able to share that with the members, we do have a list of supportable devices that CubiCasa does support. Quite honestly, it's both in the Android and Apple world going back as far as close to 10 years. If you think about Apple generations, the iPhone 8 was the last one that we could support, which feels like ages ago. But there's plenty of, there's a huge list of phones that we do support. If you have an AR kit, which you might not know offhand, we tend to be able to support it. If you do not see your phone on this list, you just reach out to mlshelp@cubicasa.com. If you do have an AR kit in your phone, we can add you to our beta program and help you use the application. So just reach out. I would be surprised if you don't see your phone on that list. But if you don't, for whatever reason, just reach out to us, and we, with your device or your phone model type, we can look it up or add you to our beta program. So thank you. Good call out. We do have, and I'll share a couple of other links in here as well. We've got our own dedicated YouTube channel with really short, easily digestible how-to and best practice videos. So if you like to, ensure that you're going to have success at your first time doing your scan, I always recommend everybody trying it on their house first before they go out to a customer's property, just to understand what the functionality is like. If you like to study up before you do it, we have tons of great videos on our YouTube channel. Otherwise, we have a help center, like easily searchable help center with plenty of documentation on the CubiCasa website. I'll add that link as well, and you can search, look up keywords and search if you like doing your own research and studying up. But tons of great information. We've taken, we've done almost 2 million scans in total. So all of the feedback over the years, we've kind of compiled like an FAQ, most frequently asked questions, and have written up an article or made a video kind of how to troubleshoot those things. So, and then we've got our team available. My team's available 24 hours a day, Monday through Friday, and then 9 to 4:30 Central Standard Time, Saturdays and Sundays. So we're always there. It's not a robot you're talking to. It is a person behind the chat. Our average response time is about 30 seconds. So it's really quick, and our team's super helpful. So just wanted to call those things out. And then a couple of questions that have come up over other member webinars that we've done over the past few months. One is, it tends to come up quite a bit, is do you have to be on Wi-Fi or have a strong cell signal to have success using the application? And the answer is no, you don't. Quite honestly, I put my phone in airplane mode before I start the actual scanning process. We have a safe mode as well in the application settings. just to avoid inbound phone calls or push notifications from other apps that I have on my phone. It just lets me focus for the 5 minutes of time that it takes to do a scan without getting any of that inbound noise. So you do not have to have a strong cell signal or be on Wi-Fi to have success using it. Essentially, it just saves it on your phone. And then when you get back into range, you just hit submit, or if you're back on Wi-Fi, resubmitting the file back to us. So that's the one that's come up quite often. The other one is in regards to having a credit card on file. So the app is free to download in both app stores, Apple and Google Play. The first scan, the upgraded version scan that Debbie mentioned, is also free. And then we have the free floor plan for you to use as much as you want after the fact. The reason why we require credit card on file, and this is after your first scan, is because of the 5,000 total square feet feature. So we don't know how much area you're scanning before you go out there. So it's hard for us to predict if you're going to do it or not. But it's basically like, if you think about it, incidentals at a hotel, right? And not, the mini bar is the example I like to use. If you're not going to take from the mini bar, we don't charge you, but it's there in case you do go over the 5,000 square feet or choose to use one of the purchase add-ons, which again, you get a 25% discount. So we tried to make this extremely affordable. There's no subscription. There's no minimum requirements for fees per month. So if you do just use the free option and it's under the 5,000 square feet, you won't be charged. Yeah, we tried to make this as simple and easy as possible. I think after the first time using the app, you'll be blown away with how simple it is. You get in-app warnings if you're doing something that you shouldn't be. So it's super easy to follow, even if you don't read any of the best practice documentation. As long as you're minding what the app's telling you to do, you'll have success doing it. And I think the best feedback we get is everybody that's tried it for the first time always says, like, there's no way that was going to work because the house was like cluttered or, whatever the case may be. And I think you'll be blown away with the results that you get back. It's extremely accurate. If you can see some of the wall and the floor and you're following the best practices, you're going to have success doing this. And it's super, super easy. So
now the two best practices that I do want to throw out to, if you don't read anything or do anything, but going around the house, opening the doors and turning on the lights is a serious must, because I found that I failed to do that. Of course, that's how I learned the hard way. So I'm trying to scan and open doors, with feet or wherever, and trying to get it. So, okay, duly noted. Please open doors, turn on lights first. Those are the two things.
Yeah, if you have to do it while you go through, obviously that's not going to be an option on every property. The best way to do it is just point your phone away from the door as you open it. It's the easiest way to do it so that you're not kind of fumbling through it as you're using the app. So.
And Debbie, I apologize if I missed it, but also when they are creating the account to get the benefit through My Real Source, they have to select agent, right? Did you mention that?
Yep, agent or appraiser. So that was the very last screenshot. So yeah, because we have both appraisers and licensees. So if you're a broker, you're still an agent. So it's either door A or door B. You're an agent or an appraiser. Great. It's good to hit that home. Thank you, Taylor.
Yeah, just don't want anybody to accidentally choose something different in case I missed that you mentioned that. If I missed it.
And if you do happen to do that and you don't see the ability to add an MLS, like say you have an existing account already, you're already using it, and you want to add your affiliation, if you go into your settings in your profile, that you should be able to see an MLS tab that will allow you to go in and add your My Real Source affiliation. If you don't see that, it's probably because you don't have agent or appraiser selected as like your role in your settings. So it's super easy to do. If you can't figure it out, just reach out to my team. It takes like 2 seconds for us to do for you. So we're
when our new members come on board and they've already downloaded this, they'll be very happy that they can turn their CubiCasa app into a great member benefit with us.
Yes. And please, like
what Jody's question is on here. She just submitted, I must have missed that option. I do not have an email with my results. However, I can see my PDF from other files in the apps and the website. I downloaded them from there. So I'm not
Oh.
sure if she had like a separate account that she was doing and she needs to toggle it and link it to my real source.
Oh, actually, and was I wrong? Did they not get shipped or no, you had an email, right?
Yeah, you should get an
Okay.
email notification upon delivery. So Taylor or Debbie, if you could get us that member's email address,
Yep,
we can reach out to them after this call and either join accounts or just try to troubleshoot why the notification may not have come over, or check spam. That might be in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, you'll get the email notification upon delivery
Yeah.
each time it's completed. And I really can't drive home how simple this is. That was the genesis behind the creation of this app. Is like, this has been a process that has been expensive in the past, takes a lot of time to do, or at least get your results back, pretty labor intensive, and scrutinized quite a bit from an accuracy perspective, because no two people are going to measure the exact same way. And if there's any appraisers on the call, and that's been my background before I joined CubiCasa, was in the residential appraisal space for 17 years. There's always going to be two different numbers when two people measure the same property. What we've done is try to remove some of the variance and like wide swings in results from providing a tech-driven solution, but an easy one, right? Like, you do not have to be tech savvy to do this. As long as you're following the best practices and capture all the interior space, you will have success, and I think you'll be blown away with the results that we return to you.
Awesome. All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for being on our webinar today. CubiCasa guys, thank you. Eric, Joseph, it's great to have, the guys with us today. And Taylor, it's always fun hanging out with you on webinars. We don't get to see each other as much anymore. This life we lead of working at home, which is fun. And my dog's going to hate it when I go back to work.
Well, thank you for having us, and I hope that myself, Joseph, or definitely Aaron will be at your next event. We apologize we weren't able to make it.
Wonderful.
To the first one, but our plan is to be at the next one. So
Great closing, Eric.
I know. Take it away,
Did I lead into yours? All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So CubiCasa is actually one of our sponsors for our roadshow events. So that's really good to hear that you'll be able to make the next one. So if you guys haven't seen anything go out about it, or you did miss the first event last Tuesday, we have 2 more coming this summer, June 15th and July 11th. So CubiCasa will be there, as well as our team, and some lunch and a little presentation and just some cool venues. The one in July is going to be Valentine's Cocktail Lounge, and the one in June is out in Freighters in Port Huron. So definitely register for one of those if you have not already, and you'll be able to talk to CubiCasa directly if you want.
And for my locals in St. Clair County, Freighters is formerly the Thomas Edison Inn. Oh yeah, that's what it is.
They recently changed their name.
A couple of years ago.
Okay.
But even when I moved up here, like, oh yeah, the old Lenarski farm. Like, I've been here 10 years. What's the Lenarski farm? Oh, they sold it 20 years ago. Oh, okay. It's still, take a left at the third apple tree, you'll get there. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Thanks for having us.
At the next event.
Yep. Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks.